This week on the Minding Your Business podcast, impact, scalable influence, and the power of a good acronym. Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliff with some guy in some kind of really cool hat that I could never wear.
That's Aaron Jarrels. That's
There
me.
you go. I threw you off. I changed it. I've been waiting to change it for weeks now.
Well, that's good. Yeah, no, I love this hat. This is I got shown this hat because I was complaining. I said, I need a really cool old man hat. And
Is that what they're officially called?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I talked to someone and I was like, dude, that is the awesomest old man hat I've ever seen. Like, I've tried to buy some on Amazon and they're crap. And he's like, you got to go to Boston Scally. And holy smokes, they have so many different styles. This is the 8 pattern. They are 8 panel. They have 6 panel. They have single panel. They have the old style. They have the ones from Peaky Blinders, the show. They have, There's so many cool hats, and they make them right here in the US. They hand make them. They're like, it's really, really a cool company.
I mean, I was like, it is a cool hat. It's I don't have the facial structure for that. But what I look at that and I say, like, it's a newsboy hat or something. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that interested. I just
feel like you're wearing it should have a better label. Like, you should actually know what it's called.
An old man hat. That's what I call it. I just call it an old man hat. So, but it's interesting. I got onto the website to find it.
Okay.
And they have every color, every pattern, every style. And I wanted this one because I really like the bold colors.
Yes.
And they were out of it in my size. So I was like, oh man. So I ordered a different one. And it's a green one. It looks pretty cool.
Okay.
And I've been wearing that one. But I've been checking back to see if they have this one in this color. And they finally did. So I grabbed it immediately. And it was immediately sold out again.
Wow.
So I was like, well, it's a pretty popular one, I guess. And this is in the, I guess, rose collection. They have like desert rose, something else rose, a bunch of different roses. And this one's majestic rose.
Okay. Well,
whatever
so for people
means.
that
maybe it's
just listening, it's like blue and yellow.
Yeah, it's got yellow and kind of a yellowy orange. It's kind of,
I want to say cool. Flannel, but it's not flannel or plaid. It's probably like tartan or whatever the.
Yeah, it's that weird old man hat material.
Okay. I feel like it has an official name, but
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I just haven't cared enough to.
Yeah. No, well, that is very not you of you.
Yeah, I only have so much mental capacity, and I don't know if I'm pulling this hat off, but I'm definitely putting it on.
I think you are. I wouldn't even attempt. I'm at the point in my life that for whatever reason, like flat brim hats are all that work on me. I don't know why, because they never did when I was younger. I just, I remember trucker hats. Remember how those like were really big in the like mid 2000s? Yeah. I always wanted to wear like one of those Von Dutch hats. Nope.
Couldn't do it.
I tried.
So this week,
other than headwear, what do we have on the agenda today?
So this week I kind of dove a little bit deep. I went a little deeper. I separated my course. I started to do, because I needed a pre-course to teach the leaders how to teach the course. And so there was no drift. I wanted to make sure everybody taught exactly the same way, because it's critical that the framework is taught in a specific way, because it needs to be practiced. And I go into it more in the book, where I explain you have to do it verbatim. You say the words exactly as they are, and then you have to say them in a monotone, robotic voice. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds silly, but if you do it that way, there's no chance of tone getting in the way.
Sure.
Because in a communication with couples.
Quick second, because like for people that aren't tracking, you started with the book and then it led into a course, and now it's leading into basically like certifying leaders to teach the course. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, program for doing it. So
program, yes.
Because I thought the best way to scale it, I can only teach so many people.
Right.
And so I thought, what if I could make this a program and get it into like churches or other large groups, and then they could have leaders teaching those things, because I feel like this is and it doesn't necessarily have to be a leader couple that's teaching it. It could be anybody. But I'm like, my God, this kind of communication needs to be taught
Yeah.
everywhere. When you break the loop that everybody's caught in when they're having an argument or a discussion or a conflict or even they think they're just having a regular conversation and then they go into that same patternistic loop. Once you get, once you learn to recognize it, you can interrupt it and move on.
Yeah.
And so it works fairly universally, but by doing it with couples first, I feel
Mhm.
like it worked. I kind of, I don't want to say I discovered it because I didn't really discover it, but I've been using it for years with couples,
Right.
but I've been using whatever analogy, you know me, I love
Yep.
analogies. I used whichever analogy I thought best suited that couple for that specific moment
Okay.
instead of trying to do something that was much more repeatable.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I decided I'm going to try and boil it down and systematize it so that, okay, so this year is tough because insurance has shifted. And so that's where this whole shift changed. It's been shifting and it really shifted hard at the beginning of this year because I definitely have clients who can no longer afford insurance,
Okay.
which means they can no longer afford to come in. And I'm like,
Right.
it's not fair to them for them not to be getting this information. And so instead of it being a one-on-one, one-to-one information of me explaining it, I thought, how do I put this on video so that at least they could watch it and then they could tell their friends they could watch it, and so it could help people.
Right.
And then I thought, God, I could make videos and put them on YouTube. Obviously, I've done that. But then I thought, how do I do it so that it's in a structured order so that they follow it? Because there's things they need to learn first because it builds on itself.
Right.
And then I thought, dang, it kind of needs to be in a course, but how do I course it without putting building the structure first? So I thought, let's get clear on the structure. So that's where I made the outline. That's where the book started.
Okay.
Then I said, let's turn it into a course. Let's create the course. And then once it was a course, I was like, how do I teach people to teach the course? And yes, I understand I'm going to create the course and mostly going to be online.
Mhm.
It'll be an online course. You'll be able to take it. I'll probably offer the small introductory course and then get for cheap, but then make the in-depth stuff a little bit more
Sure.
if they need it. But honestly, I feel like once you know the core, how to break the loop, you can get through anything at that point because you now know how to talk and communicate. You've
Right.
broken the pattern that you're stuck in, and it's either you or your spouse, and it works really well. The thing I like the most about this is you recognize the pattern, whether you're the only half of the couple that's learning it. You now
Okay.
know how to break the pattern for you and for them. So both of you don't need to learn this in order to utilize it.
I assume it works better if you both do, though.
Oh, of course. Because sometimes you get caught up in the emotion of it and you don't recognize that you're in the pattern. And if your partner can help you with that, then you go, oh, dang, you're right. I am in that stage. So
Yeah.
once you can name the stage, whoop, you can get yourself out of it really, really fast. It's about recognition. So it's a lot easier to recognize it faster because it's easy to recognize patterns and things in other people. So
Yeah.
much easier than it is in yourself. So if your partner
Especially with
is helping
phones.
you, yeah, and they do the interrupt or the reset in a monotone, drab voice, then you know that they're seriously simply doing it to interrupt the pattern. They're not trying to use that reset as a persuasion move or a tactic it's genuine that they're trying to interrupt the pattern so that you guys can get back to good.
Okay.
And so, anyway, that's kind of where all of this has happened. And so this week, I really got into how do I train the trainers? How do I teach them? And it's not time for that yet. And so I appreciate your kind of like tightening up, being like, focus, focus again. Don't go too far down that track
Right.
because it was a separate part. Like I need to train the people, then do the course. But the primary thing right now is doing the course. Then I can offer it to people. Then I
Right.
can bump it up. So once I can offer it to couples or individuals that want to take that course, then they can take the course and then they can even take it to their church or to their group or to wherever and go, hey, I think this is important. We all need to know this. And then they can
So,
do that.
uh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it centers around communication, obviously, right?
Mhm.
Do you see this? being able to adapt this and let's say take it into like the workforce?
Yes, okay. So yes, I do. Honestly, what's interesting is the loop that I keep talking about, right? Is our sort of speech patterns that we get stuck into and the direction we take our conversations.
Okay.
And it happens almost universally across the board. And it happens in any and all forms of communication with all sorts of people. So this will happen if you're getting upset at the person trying to sell, or your long distance care.
That's dating.
That's
Wow. How
dating
you
me, isn't it?
dated yourself.
Okay, your cable, your internet provider, and you're irritated with the fact that you're not getting your connection is slowed, and you're trying to call them. Hey, what do I do? And then
Yeah.
this pattern you get stuck into, and then it'll work to break that. You can get out of it and then maintain calmness, keep the conversation going. It works at work. It works with relationships that are hierarchical. So if you're talking to your boss, how to do it in a way that doesn't feel like you're trying to control it. If you're talking to somebody underneath, you're talking to your kids, you'll start to recognize the pattern and go, oh my gosh, I can do that. I can help stop them,
Yeah.
interrupt their pattern that they're stuck in, or interrupt my own that I'm stuck in. And so once you do that, you can retake control or gain. It's not even taking control so much as it is taking back control or removing control from your pattern, because you get caught in that loop and you just go
Right.
round and round and round and round, and you don't even realize you're doing it.
Right. Right.
And it's kind of that same adage, like if I were to say, hey, this is the best way to alleviate and eliminate conflict, then people go, yeah, I don't really get in conflict. It's like, you do, but it's because okay. The easiest time to recognize that is in a relationship.
Sure.
Why? Because you guys have the same argument uh, over and over and over. Like it's never about the dishes. Why? Because 5 minutes into the argument or 10 minutes in, different people have different lengths of time before
Sure.
they hit that
Yeah.
stage. It's not about that. It's you always do this. And the whole argument shifts back into that pattern, and then it just starts looping around and around and around. And then if you can break that, then you can talk about the actual subject matter, because it's never the thing, right? It's always what it means. And
Right.
so what
You
it
said
means
that.
is the loop that it gets caught in, and off you go. And you guys keep doing the same thing over and over. Once you learn to recognize that pattern, you can break that loop and then move right on.
I
So
dig it, man.
that's what it's for. And
Are you,
so, yeah,
and you
universally, I should be able to do it and go into other places. But at this moment, I feel like the best place to start is in people's closest relationships, because that's what I do every day, helping couples. And so I'm like, I might as well do it on a larger scale, help people. And then once I do, they go, man, this works. And I've been using it with my boss too. Hey, this would be a great whatever. And then I can ultimately probably write another book, break the loop, instead of just stop the same argument with your partner over and over, make another one to be like, hey, stop the conflicts at work and get communication flowing back and forth up and down the ladder like it should be. And
yeah.
so that can happen because departmental arguments, and people get stuck in their loops, and then they do the protection and the blocking. So instead of that, if I do that and try and stay too broad, you know how my brain works. I'll
Yeah.
try and do too many things at once, and I
Right.
need
No.
to stay reined in. And so I'm like, at this point, I'm going to help these people,
Yeah.
and
I can
once
just
they're
say that
being
I think
helped, I can move on.
from what you've told me about it, it sounds like it would be really, really helpful in like just in parenting, you know.
Yeah.
We're kind of like towards the end of that, though I looking back, I can tell you that my parents, Darcy's parents, they parented us for a long they probably still are, honestly.
Right.
So, but I think that would be it's something I wish I'd had in my toolkit
Yeah.
because I can tell you, especially like I love my son. He's awesome. And like that he's so much more mature, further along in just a better place than I was at his age, you know.
Right.
But like I have a tendency to kind of bring my baggage to the conversation, you know,
Uh-huh.
where it's like, you know, I don't want him to make the same mistakes I made. So because of that, there's a lot of extra weight that I'm bringing to the conversation. And it's like,
Right.
again. So I'm looking forward to you sending me that book after you sign it, and just
Uh-huh.
digging into it. Like I've
Yeah.
still I've still got a few years of where he'll listen to me. Maybe we'll see.
Yes. And teaching him that by example is he'll
Right.
see it and pick up on it. We so often we teach without teaching. We teach by example. They see us do it and they do it. Like if
Yeah.
I get super because I catch myself. My wife catches me more than I catch myself, but I get really frustrated really fast. But
Yes.
when I see my son doing that, I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Are you kidding me? That's exactly the way you respond." And I'm like,
Right.
"You mean react?" But yes, that is
Yes.
how I react. When I
Yes.
respond, I have take time to think, get calm down and go. But it's breaking that loop, that pattern, because it happens fast.
Yeah.
So fast. I mean, you could go, you could loop 4 times before you even recognize that you're stuck in it.
Yes. Yeah. And that's luckily Darcy and I are never, I would say, hot. Like the temper doesn't rarely goes off at the same time. And so we've been lucky enough to have each other to bounce. Whenever one of us gets mad, the other one kind of steps in. It's like, okay, why don't you
Yeah.
take a minute and I'll lead the conversation with Christian and
Yeah.
like and so but yeah, I know the feeling. It's really
Yeah.
easy to go from 0 to 100, you know, just in the blink of an eye and you're like, wow, I don't even know what I said. Why
Right.
why why would I say that?
Yeah.
So in case anyone didn't know, I'm not perfect. I know it's hard to believe.
What? I wasn't even aware of that.
Wow, I
Holy
know, right?
smoke.
I've got everyone
Yeah.
fooled. Oh, man. Well, that's really cool.
Hey,
That's really exciting.
so yeah, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna be going back. You kind of helped tighten up the reins so
Yeah.
that I can hopefully stay a little bit more focused. I want to make the course and get it out there. Have some couples take it online
Uh-huh.
because I know it works in person.
Right.
I know it does
Right.
because we do it week after week after week. But I want to see if it's transferable to video.
Yeah.
So I don't know because I don't know how much of what I do in the as a therapist is is the interpersonal connection or is the information.
Yeah. Well, I would think that you would have, like,
Oh,
degrees, right? So if it's on paper, that's knowledge and it can be effective. But if it then in video, there's more, they say an image is worth 1,000 words. So that might be a little more impactful. And then one-on-one obviously is the most impactful, but then like that in between, like if you're talking about having other people lead
groups.
like
Right.
groups, that also seems like that would be really effective. Maybe not as good as one-on-one,
Right.
because
But still
just
more
the
effective.
handle,
Maybe it doesn't need to be that
right,
effective. Like
right.
so yeah, be interesting. It's so anyway, that's where I'm at. So I
That's
need some beta testers to take the course and see if it makes sense. I've done some other similar courses that are communication courses, and I've gotten really positive feedback from people taking it on Udemy. I
okay,
don't
yeah,
make any money from that. It's like the amount of effort that goes into creating courses for that. Oh my gosh, knowing what little I get from, and I don't know how much couples are paying to take the courses on Udemy. But I know I get somewhere close to $1
oh
per
wow,
couple. So yeah, that's substantial.
lovely.
Um, and so, and I know not everybody responds, but the response and the reviews and just them reaching out, being like, "Oh man, thanks for that. This is work. This helped. This whatever." I feel like there is something to doing the video courses.
Yeah, yeah,
Having homework and the different things to do as well, but having it on video is more than just them reading the book. So my hope
right,
is that some people like to read and they'll read the book and go, oh, and then they can take the sister companion course.
yeah. Now,
Like,
one thing you haven't said that we may have talked about this before, but are you gonna do like an Audible, like an audiobook?
yeah, I really want to. So this is a whole nother rabbit hole, by the way. As far as I can tell, there's this company or online thing. It's called ACX. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
And that's where you do the recording. And then you have to do it. You do it chapter by chapter. It gives you all these direction things that you have
Sure.
to. And you have to like sound deaden. You have to have your audio has to be within this certain range, and you're supposed to tweak it and whatever before you upload and send it.
Yeah.
And it is so involved that I haven't bitten that off yet. I didn't do it a couple of weeks ago when I was working on other stuff because I was congested and I'm like, I'm not going to record myself being nasal.
Right.
I'm not doing that. And so I thought, well, I'll wait. I'll wait until I'm feeling better and then I can do it. And I haven't gotten back to it because I've been working on the course and the program, trying to get all of the stuff. I'm hosting it now on my own website.
Okay.
I'm using LearnDash to host it. And that is a whole nother, like I got used to uploading using the Udemy stuff. Like, yes, it takes me, I don't know, for a course that's going to take people an hour and a half to take. It takes me about 25, 30 hours of work on the website, not including recording the videos and writing all the curriculum for the course.
Wow.
So to put one course out, I'm probably 40, 50 hours.
And then
And it's like, and then I get a buck for it. So I'm like, you know what? I know they're probably paying close to 20, 15 or 20. So realistically, if I put it on my website and charged 10, I would be doing better. Far better,
Well,
10 times better. I would 10x my revenue. So
yes, I also think that you could, well, that's a whole other conversation to talk about pricing, but people tend to get out of something what they
what
put
they
into
put in
it,
it.
right?
Yeah,
So
for
you're
sure.
almost, it's almost a disservice to charge too little for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
No,
that's a
I
whole,
know. Honestly, I feel like with this one, with the break the loop, being able to recognize the loop, if I were to charge for my time, yeah, I'd probably have to charge 500-600 bucks.
yeah,
If I were to charge for the transformation the couple is going to get and the difference it'll make in their life, I could charge $5,000
yeah, right,
without even hesitating. And I guarantee that the people that took the course and paid $5,000 in 2 years from now would say I'd have paid 20.
right, right,
Because it won't matter. The change and the shift that it makes once you start recognizing the patterns. It's beautiful. It works with the way our brain works because our brains love to find patterns. So
yeah,
I'm not doing something that's out of the ordinary. I'm just using what's worked for hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of years without people recognizing it. Now I'm just using the strengths that we naturally do in a slightly different way.
right,
And so it feels natural to do it. It's awkward, It's like riding a bike. It feels a little weird, but once you learn to do it, it's very much like riding a bike. Once you learn it, you know it. It's like
yeah,
you don't. So anyway, even if you're not in a relationship, it'd help you to when you did. But you're in relationships whether you want to be or not.
I was
You're
gonna
in
say,
relationships with family, with friends, with coworkers, with like you're in relationships all of the time. And if you could polish that to where relationships and communication with others became much easier, you might find that part of your personality that is so strongly right now introverted
hmm,
isn't anymore because you're like, oh, I know how to do this. The introverted part is the fear that's like, oh, where we start to tell ourselves, I don't do that. I don't want to do that. I don't like to do that.
right,
No, you don't like the fear that's being instilled on walking over and talking to somebody and not knowing if you're going to be able to communicate properly.
right, right.
Or
There's
what's
an
going to
element of
happen when things
rejection in
start
there
to go,
too.
and we go, oh, it's just easier not to. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
until you know what to do. And then it's just as easy to be in it than not. And it's so much more rewarding.
mm,
So anyway, that's the hope is that I can do that. And if I can help couples first, then they'll be able to help their children. They're going to be able to help their friends, their coworkers, their other people. Other people are going to notice like, man, it's so much easier to talk to you right now. And you don't get that saying like you're not jumping to the conclusions that you used to jump to. And it's like, yeah,
right. Yeah.
So it should be a noticeable difference, transformation in their life. And then other people will go, well, where did you get that? That's the hope is they go, where did you learn that? And they're like, oh my God, you have to take this thing. You just break the loop and boop, off you go. Then they can take the course and then so forth, so forth. So hopefully that'll allow it to scale because people can get on, take it at their own pace, make the difference, see the value, and then share it with others.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it's a big difference between, one at a timing, right? When, because you only have so many hours in the day, and I mean, how many clients can you even fit into your monthly schedule?
right,
It allows you to scale it well beyond it, and uh, beyond the financial reward or return on that. There's like
right,
an impact, like at least for me, like what difference am I making in the world? Am I like in my relationships and in my community, am I improving it or maybe
right,
worse, or is it just a net neutral? Um,
right.
and so I really don't want it to be neutral. I don't want to make it worse. And so
Sure.
having like, and it's not about pride. The
No.
word that comes to my mind is legacy. And that seems like it's a little pride related, like wanting to be remembered. Like I think that's just really like I don't care if anyone remembers me. I just hope that I
You
made
want to have
someone
made a
smile,
difference.
made exactly like made their life a little easier, or I don't know something.
Yeah.
But I just think of all the people that have come before me that have impacted my life in a positive way, and I want to be like those people. So, um,
Right.
speaking of, um, I had a weird. It's funny, right? I had
Okay.
a weird opportunity this week. I got to sit down with the city administrator
Okay.
and Chamber of Commerce lead.
Okay.
Had uh, lunch slash coffee with him this week, and I looks like in June I'll
Okay.
be doing some presenting at the chamber. They're doing like these luncheon things, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's such a strange thing because again, I mean, it's really exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like being able to influence someone and make give them like an easy win or somehow them leaving the luncheon with a new idea or with a new skill or maybe a little bit of like hope that they didn't have,
Okay.
before. And so I don't know, like I'm really excited about it. And it's just really funny because if you had said to me, 5 years ago, this is the direction you're going to be going, I would have been like, not me. You're
Right.
crazy. I honestly, the thought of having a podcast 5 years ago was like, I mean, that sounds like fun because I like to hang out with my friends and talk. If we can do one of those podcasts, but I don't have anything to say.
Right.
And I mean, you've been a part of that process too. I mean, you know,
Right.
the having the technical ability to pull off some recording of some audio and maybe some video, that's very low bar for me. But I didn't have a whole lot to say, and so that's definitely changed. But it's also because I spend a lot of time learning, whether it's in books or audiobooks or,
Right.
courses or whatever it is. Uh, and now I feel like a responsibility to kind of give and distribute information that I've learned that has helped me. And so,
Yep.
anyway, pretty exciting.
Yeah. I I like that. I like that viewpoint because there's a couple of arguments that there's nothing new in the world,
Right.
right? There are no new ideas.
Right.
Um, in fact, pretty much every word that's ever said has already been said,
Yes.
right? But even considering that, my viewpoint or my take, my spin on it is unique
Yeah.
because of all of the things that exist in the world, in the universe, right? In our makeup of humankind. I'm aware of like this much. But what I am aware of, I have a distinct view and understanding of it. And I'm just here to share that understanding. And if it helps you, great. And if it doesn't, fine.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that my voice doesn't have a place because the way I see it might help someone else not see it the way I see it, but it might help them see it differently,
Right.
or they have a different understanding, and it hopefully be a more positive one.
Yeah. Well, it's not unlike music, right? So there's in at least in Western music, Western being like the Western hemisphere, not country Western. There's 8 notes and 4 flats or sharps. So there's 12 options that you have, and that's it. And so there's no new music. It's all
Right.
been done, but how one
How you
artist
do it.
makes it their own, it resonates with you, right? Like there's,
Right.
and I think that's the word that just keeps coming back to my mind when you were talking. Is like it's resonating. So my take on something, your take on something, is going to resonate with certain people. Not everyone. Like, and
Right.
that's fine. I don't want that much attention. You know,
Right.
but if my take on how to grow a business, how to build, something that's worthwhile resonates with anyone and they get anything out of it, then man, it's all worthwhile.
Right.
Um, Speaking of, I know. So in your book, you have an acronym, right? The
Yes.
the loop. And what does loop stand for?
Yeah. So, well, good question. So I call it breaking the loop because it is a loop that we get stuck in. We go
Yes.
round and round and round and round. Basically, L is the launch of the conversation, the topic, the conflict, the whatever it is. As you're talking, you know when a launch happens because we're just carrying on a conversation. You're talking with somebody, and then all of a sudden, someone says something, and the air in the room changes. Everything shifts. You feel the shift. And that's because the conversation didn't launch in the direction you think it should go in. It's like as if a rocket fell over and started skipping across the ground. And you notice it. Like, it's really strange. I give the example. It isn't even a word from my wife. It's the breath she takes before saying something. She breathes differently
Yeah.
when it's we need to talk. That breath is different and I recognize it. And it immediately sends me into my loop.
Yeah.
The other morning it happened. It was at breakfast and she goes, we need, and it's
Yeah.
that gets me. And I immediately felt my skin flush, like I was ready to go. I was assuming it was an attack, right?
Right.
And she goes, we need to figure out what we have in the freezer and what we can make for dinner this week. And I was like, oh my God, honey, I honestly was prepared to fight you right now. Like I was starting to defend myself.
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, you get defensive a lot. And I go, I know. That's my loop. That's so the launch is that initial chook in the conversation where you go, here we go.
Yeah.
It's that moment.
Yeah.
That's L for loop.
Okay.
O is immediately after that, you start to feel overwhelmed. You feel the overwhelm come. Like it's, oh my gosh, like here we go again. This is happening. This is happening. We're going to end up like you can see the next, whatever your typical fight is. Here's what the next 45 minutes, what this evening's going to be like, what this whole day, what the weekend is going to be, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the overwhelm stage. Then it hits the second O in loop, which is it connects now to an old story. You always do this. This is where in the conversation, in the fight, in the something, it happens to where you're like, oh my God, this always happens. You always say that. You never do something where it starts to become more universal, connects to an old story where it makes you think of all the things in the past that remind you of it, and it all comes back out. All the things you swore you were done talking about, done arguing with, you're not going to bring that up anymore. All of them come right back.
Mm-hmm.
Then once that happens, we feel threatened and we make a protection move, whatever that protection move is. And everybody's got a different one. I'm not going to go into all of them right now, but you either get quiet and you're like, oh, never mind. I don't even care then.
Yeah. Shut down.
You shut down. Or you get loud and you really start yelling and emphasizing your point. Or you start insulting and attacking. Or, well, there's a bunch of ors. I was going to go into them all and I don't need to.
Yeah.
But because everybody knows what theirs is and they know what their spouse's is. If I was to ask you to identify those immediately, you could go, oh, I know what mine is and I know what my partner's is. Right. Yeah. Because you guys do it over and over and over. My partner always has to win, always has to have the last word. Well, yes, that's their protection move. And you know what's crazy is the moment you hit a protection move and somebody shuts down, that changes the air in the room. And that's a new launch for the other person.
Yeah.
because the conversation now just got shut down. You protected yourself, you shut it down, and then they launch, they get overwhelmed. You always shut down. You never talk, you something, and then they do a protection move. Fine, well then I don't care for, or they start yelling and screaming, and it just loops and loops and loops and loops.
Yeah.
So that's the loop.
It's funny. I'm
It's
laughing.
launch, overwhelm, old story, protection move.
Yeah. Okay. I
So
mean, it cracks me up because I can
you can
remember
picture
it.
and see all
Yeah.
of those things, and you
Yeah.
start even as I describe it, you can you look back and you go, oh my god, that was like Saturday when we were talking about, and I could see that you can identify the stages. What's crazy is once you teach your brain to start recognizing the stage, is this launch, is this overload, is
Right.
this old story, is this a protection move, you'll start recognizing it in your partner, you recognize it in yourself, and you can say, I can see, well, and then it hits the reset part where you want to reset, interrupt the loop, where you go, I can see that we are in stage this. I can see how me saying this causes you to feel this.
Yeah.
And then you can move right on. Like at that moment, you interrupt it and you're like, yes, oh, that is true. Yeah, that does do that. It interrupts the pattern and then allows you to have the conversation, allows your nervous system to slow down and then get moving. So I love acronyms. That's the right word, right? An acronym?
Acronym. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Acronym, not an acronym. I don't know why I'm putting the extra N in there.
Well,
Um,
you're referring to one. It's an acronym.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I'll go with that then.
Yeah.
I'll just say I knew that. That's what I meant. But yeah, I love them. And so it just, I don't know, worked out really, really well that it's a loop and that the loop works with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I wasn't using that terminology. You know me, I use analogies all the time.
Right. And
Um,
everyone's different.
yeah, everyone. And each time I'm talking, it's like whichever one I feel like fits most. And the trouble with that is, um, and you've told me this over and over and over, is you become the unicorn. You become the only person that can tell it in that way to get through
Right.
to people to do things.
Yeah.
And that's unduplicatable. That's I can never teach anybody that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I were to teach somebody using my typical way of doing it, where I connect deeply with them and I show them and they get that, and they're like, yeah, then they go home and try and tell their partner, oh my gosh, it's so crazy that we get in our patterns. It's kind of like when a train goes and they go, I don't care.
You're right. Right.
So they can't get they can't teach the loop system, the system of identifying the stage, interrupting the pattern, and then moving forward, getting into repair. They can't do that
Yeah.
because their partner doesn't see it the same way. So by making this much more universal, much more clean, much more easily understandable. Yes, it's much more vanilla. I understand, but
But it's memorable.
it's the point. The point needs to get across. And then once people understand it, then their brain will paint it with whatever colors they need it to be. So
Right.
that they'll go, this reminds me, yeah, it's kind of like, and then they can do their own analogy. They don't need mine.
Yeah. Well, and it makes sense because it is a cycle, right? And you could have
Mhm.
chosen any word, but like loop works really well. And to be
Yeah.
able to use that as the acronym also,
Yeah.
it makes it easily rememberable.
Yes, and
Really.
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what, more easily
Yes.
remember. So I went with loop because instead of spiral, because if you think about it, everybody think, oh my God, we get caught in this spiral. Well, spiral sort of implies that you're moving in a direction, like you're moving down, like things
Yeah.
are getting worse,
Yeah.
and really they're just repeating over and over and over. And by doing that, it's seen as a pattern rather than a motion or movement.
Yeah.
It's seen as something else. Well, once you recognize a pattern, beep, 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 beep. Okay, now we can stop that.
Yeah.
It feels much more malleable and
Okay.
it means less because I know I say it all the time. What the way we describe it defines it. That attaches to our beliefs, determines how we feel about it. So I need to dull your feeling towards what you guys do all the time because that's your nuclear freaking argument. Well, I'm going to teach you how to do it because that nuclear argument happens over and over and over and over. And it doesn't matter if it's about the trash, about the dishes, about the fact that you didn't send a birthday card, whatever. It's the same argument. Why? Because it ultimately ends the same in that loop,
Yeah.
in that pattern. So by being able to recognize that, you can stop it and then talk about the actual subject, which really wasn't that bad. But because every single time the topic, the subject is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Why? Because it reattaches itself to all the old stuff in the old story.
Yeah.
So it feels like, here we go again. Is one more example, and it's like, oh my gosh, stop thinking about all that stuff. Focus on this, get through it, and move on.
Yeah.
Like life is too. How much time are you going to waste pulling out that? Remember when?
Right.
Remember, and you apologize, but remember when? And it's like, why are you putting yourself back into that emotional state?
Yeah. My
Stop it.
friend said this today. We were talking about just the way people are, and he's like, we were just meat bags of trauma walking around, waiting to be triggered. Like some people are.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's a sad but apt description.
Yes.
Honestly,
Yes.
it's crazy too, because I know I've said, I say it all the time, but I wish I could give people amnesia so they forgot.
Right.
If they forgot their loop,
Well, like,
it would all be gone. If they forgot all their old story, they forgot all the old baggage, they forgot all their old trauma, they would just live in the moment.
yeah, if you could keep the lesson that you learn and forget the trauma,
Huh?
you know? I mean, what's interesting is like if you think about pain, like physical pain, like right now if I said like, "Oh, that feeling of stubbing your toe." Like you can
I can
identify
imagine
what
it.
you know what I'm talking about, but you can't actually feel it. I mean, I don't know about you, maybe you can, but I can't feel it. I can remember the pain of when I tore my ACL. I can remember that it hurt really bad, but I can't pull up that feeling.
Okay.
And so it's like that's kind of a gift because if I were to walk around and think about those kinds of things and then I can actually experience it, that would
Yes.
be terrible. But
Yes.
emotional pain is
Emotionally,
different.
that's exactly what we do.
Exactly.
You're immediately back in that frame of mind,
Yeah.
feeling the emotional pain and trauma again, over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like that idea of the box, and we pull it out and it's a chain, and it connects, your new memory connects to all the old ones, and you pull a big chain out and you wrap it around your shoulder and you have to carry it. So if you can break the pattern, you can break that loop or that link on the chain, and it doesn't
Yeah.
detach.
I love it.
So
Well, again, I'm looking forward to reading the book.
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting your take on it, because it really is. It's not going. I will tell you this: it's not going to be surprising. The framework and everything, we've talked about it a million times. You're going to understand it.
Yeah.
But I would appreciate your take on the framing of it,
Okay.
because just like the book we're writing, you and I together, the reason that I had the idea and I kind of presented it like, hey, let's put more story into it. Let's
Yeah.
give more example. Like, let's not just talk about what it is about building a business, but give some examples so that
Right.
people can go, oh, and get a better understanding. So I wrote it with 3 couples
Okay.
throughout the book. They track through the book, through all the
Nice.
different stages and the different things. Um, each couple is an amalgamation of other many other couples and singles that I've talked to, and I kind of took their archetype.
Okay.
Like, the person who needs to win is one. The person who shuts down is one. The person who gets loud is one. The person who retreats is one. So each one of those, there's 6, and they each represent one of the archetypes. So
Okay.
there's no, even as I was doing it, it wasn't like, oh, this couple reminds me of this couple that I had. It's the husband in this couple I'm going to put here, and some of the traits of the wife go to here, this
Right.
couple. So it's, no one's going to read it and go,
Hey,
that
this is
reminds
me.
me of me. But they should, or that's us. What they should be able to do is read it and go, oh my God, I totally relate with with Alex, or with. So I don't want them to necessarily go, I think this book's written about me,
Right.
about us. No, as you read it, you're going to go, oh my God, I relate here. Oh, I relate here. Oh, you should, each person should relate with all 6 or all 3 couples at different times, at different points, at different arguments for
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to be able to see someone going through the stages of not being able to recognize anything to being able to recognize and interrupt the pattern, and how what it's like to be able to interact in those interactions, knowing how to do it and move on. So it's like I talk about the tool or the system or the step or the stage, and then each one of their kind of lives living through it with some examples, and then what they did to change, and then how they came out of it.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm not an author, or I'm not a creative
Actually, you are,
writer.
sir.
Oh yeah, I'm an author now, but I'm not a creative writer by nature.
Mm,
So I I hope, I mean, I'm decent at analogies and spinning thing and doing things, but I'm hoping that it comes, that it reads the way I meant it to be read.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it because you're a great storyteller. So I imagine that translated to the page.
I'm hoping.
Uh, I mean, and it is funny because, like, what my take on the book we're writing was like, man, here's a set of questions that everyone should ask themselves before they start a business, before they, create a new product or service or this new venture, whatever these, you know,
Right.
essential questions, right? And the list just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And we've been filtering
Oh,
out some questions and adding others.
right.
But again, you're a storyteller, right? So your idea of adding a story to each section, each chapter, that framed why those questions were important, man, is brilliant.
I'm really enjoyed that, but the other part is, like, it's a collaborative story.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying that. And by the time we're done, we both read it and it says what both of us intended the story to say.
Right.
And I didn't have that when I was writing this one. And
Well, and there's a reason I'm not working on the book anymore by myself because it's not fun. And
okay,
so, this goes probably, issues that I should, get on the couch for, but like, I'm just not all that interested in doing things by myself. I'm an only child. I love people. I love interacting with people to
okay,
the point that, like, even video games. We've talked about sim racing.
right.
I sim race with my buddy, but I mean, rarely, like,
Just
do
get
it.
on and do it by
I'm
yourself.
not interested. I can just go drive the car. You know, it's just
Right.
even like growing up playing video games, you'd couch
Yes.
co-op, right? You'd sit there and take
Mhm.
turns playing Mario Brothers. Like, oh, okay, you died. Okay, now your turn. That for me, it's all everything is about relationship.
Right.
So I've had a blast in working with you, and I'm just not at all interested as much as I want to just like finish the book and get it done and launch because I think there's just a lot of value that we're giving people in there.
Yeah.
Just not going to do it on my own because it's not going to be as good. And it's twofold. One, it's not energizing to do on my own. Not to say that
Right.
like everything has to be fun, right?
Right.
But I also know the thing that's backing that up is that it's going to be better when we do work on it together, you know,
Yeah.
and not in a, hey, I changed this section. Why don't you take a look at it? And then we're going back and forth. Like, again, that's not the collaboration that we've done. Actually going through it word by word,
Uh-huh. And
and reviewing and changing and just making it better. It's a blast. So
yeah.
uh, thank you for brightening my day and working on this project with me.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying, it's a completely different process.
Yeah.
And the collaboration aspect of it, you know me, I can't do anything by myself. I acknowledge I am extraordinarily codependent. Um, I don't mind running, but I'm running to the next interaction
Yeah.
of codependency.
There
Like,
you go.
so I can do stuff on my own and just run,
Yeah.
but without that connection with another person to be like, why are you running in this direction? I'm like, because I'm running full speed. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, but in the wrong direction.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, but I'm making good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
So I definitely need that.
yeah. Well,
Um,
I'm the opposite where if I'm on my own, it's gonna be a turtle's pace, you know? It's once I get in a collaborative, if it's and that's why I have business partners, you know?
right.
It's almost, I'm much more interested in growing our thing together than I am growing my own thing,
Yeah.
So,
I'm
um,
looking forward to seeing where it goes. And I'm looking forward to the first early adopters who read the book, start businesses, and basically get help, get questions, be able to like talk with us on on the Facebook group in
Yeah.
Minding Your Business and like get answers and then join the group to so they can help other people. But I'm excited to see the difference in early adoption V1 of the book versus when we go, you know what, let's add this, let's tweak this, let's do this, let's whatever. And it's like by version 5, it's going to be an amazing book,
Yeah.
10 years from now. And it will have probably helped hundreds of businesses. But I think this will be the point where we'll look back and go, man, remember when we were just scraping along trying to get that book done, get it out there and get it
Yeah.
going. Anyway, I'm looking
I'm
forward to
looking
that. I'm
I'm looking
glad we're
forward to the audiobook.
documenting the entire process. We're not documenting us doing the book, but at
Yeah.
least documenting the journey of
Yeah.
doing the book.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the audiobook recording because the
Oh
amount of
man,
extra context that we're going to bring to each question, we
uh-huh.
just can't. We just can't do that.
No,
We're
in
doing
the
that in
book
the
you can't
story.
do
We're
it in.
doing that in kind of like the stage gates, and we're trying to like ease into it. But I think that just the simple things that are going to come out of our mouths when we ask these questions.
Oh man, I think the audiobook is going to be a a whole nother thing
Yeah.
because we'll read the story and then instead of just reading the list of questions, we're going to be talking about the
Yeah.
questions, why they're important, what it means, how it applied to us, how it applied to other people's businesses that you've helped, that you've worked on, other people. So it'll be a little bit of book and a lot of bit of story,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of bit of us.
Yeah. That's gonna be
So
fun.
yeah.
We need to wrap, but I do have, speaking of acronyms, I was working with one of the business owners in the online cohort. Um,
Mhm.
he had some questions, just on the worksheet that I gave him to, the homework, basically.
Yes.
He was having a hard time filling out who his target market was, and I'm
Okay.
like,
God,
okay, well, it's not,
that
first of
really
all,
is that really is hard.
it is, it
Especially
is.
if you've been doing business for a while.
Right. And his thing is like he's served all kinds.
Right.
And so it's like, yes, I understand that. I understand that you have served all kinds of different businesses and individuals and everything. But who's your ideal client? What's your ideal client profile? And it's like, well, I don't know. Do I choose this? Do I choose that? I'm like, okay. So like I really need, like, first of all, just write something down. Let's just start with writing something down because it doesn't
Okay.
have to be, you don't have to make your first answer perfect. It's going to get refined as we go through this process.
Okay.
But if you want to think about your ideal and really like hone in on who you're speaking to, like it's taking, think of the clients you've had and this one was really good. You liked them because they paid on time. You liked this client because they were really easy to work with. You liked this client because they were so ecstatic for what you did for them that they went and told other people, right?
Right.
And so I came up with my own acronym, which is, I think this is the first time I've ever done that. But I'm
Okay.
finding, it's like Brian Andrews's crush,
Uh-huh.
for, goal setting, like, it's so memorable. I need something to remember my own things,
Okay.
because I am the person that has written songs and can't remember the lyrics to them.
Okay.
Um, so here's the acronym I came up for ideal client. So
Okay.
it's ideal. I
Okay.
is identifiable, meaning that you can clearly spot them based on certain criteria. D is desirable, like someone you actually want to work with. E is executable, like you can actually deliver what they need. So you're not
Okay.
getting it over your head, right?
Right.
A is for able, like they have the ability to pay you, they can afford you. Um,
Okay.
L is for loyal, not just that they stick around, but they bring you other business. They become an advocate for you. So ideal,
Mm.
identifiable, desirable, executable, able, and loyal. And so,
Yeah.
after I gave that to this business owner, he was like, "Okay, yes, now I get it." And again, it's pulling those little pieces, because there is no such thing um, as a perfect client.
Right.
They all have, like, you're just waiting for it to happen, for that point where they're like, there's where they kind of suck. They're really bad at, like, they always pay, but they're always 30 days late, or they're
Right.
great in everything, but my gosh, they do not respond to my emails in a timely fashion where I need this to start this, or there's
Right.
always something.
Right.
But if you can speak to your ideal client, that is a
Right.
non-real thing, non-real person, non-real
Right.
entity, you're going to attract the people that have most of those characteristics.
Right.
Or you could not speak to an ideal client. You could speak in just generalities, and you're going to attract all kinds of
Get
chaos.
any and everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Okay.
anyway, that's my lesson for this week.
I like that. Yeah, that's a really good one. And it's an easy way to identify, because when you first said, and I know you've asked me that and had me go through that whole process before, and I'm like, when we were talking about looking for like therapy clients, and you're
Yeah.
like, who do you help? And I'm like, people with problems. You're like, I know, but who would be your ideal? And I'm like, people who want to change. Like,
Hey, that is identifiable, right?
right? So there are things, but it's like, oh my gosh, like if I were to really say my ideal ones, identifiable, well, it would be somebody who is at the point where they recognize that they need something different. And
Yeah.
then if I was say ID, what's D is deliverable. Can I actually give them what they're looking for? Right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
That's
ID.
it's desirable. Do you want to work with them?
Oh, I want to work with them.
Is
Yes.
executable.
Yes. Oh my
And by
gosh.
the way,
That
I have like
honestly,
3 versions for each letter.
man,
I have
that's
3
so
different.
funny. Even as you say, desirable. It's so with the line of work that I do if I go back to the therapy side, the desirability part is so tough because it's like there are people where I'm like, oh, I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't.
Terrible.
I'm still going to help them, but
Yeah.
honestly, like we're not going to connect the same as we're going to. And I know I'm supposed to block all that out and whatever. And honestly, um, typically speaking, um, I think the thing that I don't like when there are clients is they're not ready. They're not like, I don't like that about them. There's
Yeah.
something, it's not their looks, it's not their personality. It's that I don't like working with people who are not ready to change. They're just there because their parents are making them or their spouse is making them. They said to get divorced if I'm not here. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like working with that. This isn't, you're not going to make anything. So that I don't, and they don't stay for long anyway.
That's
So
true.
the desirability is both.
Yeah.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
And then executable. Yeah, I got to be able to help them. And it is funny because I do that in the initial interview when I'm talking to people is I'm like, if at any moment you think to yourself, this is someone who can help me with my problem. And I sit over here and I hear what you're asking for. And I say to myself, I think I can help you with that, with what you're coming here for. Then at the end of the session, if we both agree, then we'll schedule out more appointments.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Because it is interesting. There really are, when you start thinking about it as an I.D.E.A.L. Yes. Like that is who you're looking for. And
Yeah.
it's not necessarily, oh, single, white, what, like not that. I think that's silly. I think it's much more all of the things, not
Right.
just like identifiable isn't just what their age or their height or their whatever.
Yeah.
It's can you identify who you would want to work with
Yeah.
or
And some
whatever.
of this you're not going to find out until after you've actually had an initial, discovery call or meeting with someone,
Right.
because they could check all the boxes and then you not get along.
It's
I don't care how much they're worth. It's not worth going in
right.
a relationship and
Right.
I've had these clients and
Uh-huh.
gosh,
Yeah.
it's like a big payday and you just go, they are insufferable. I mean, and this is me saying this and Aaron, I love people. I love 99.9% of people, and I can count on one hand the people that I have not gotten along with in my life. I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't like me. That's fine. But people that I
Yeah.
just can't be
Oh,
around,
yeah. I
it's
know
one
what you mean.
hand, and it is a certain type too. I'm not going to
Right.
get into, but oh my gosh, there's no amount of money that I would trade to spend time around those people,
Yes.
much less have to, service
Help.
them. So
Yeah.
you
Gotcha.
learn these things as you get older, though, because
Yeah.
the 30-year-old CJ would have been like, "Payday, all right," and then
Right.
you know,
But
miserable.
the cost is so much more than the
Yeah,
benefit.
yeah,
So, okay. All right. Well, we are getting tight on time
we
today.
are, we are. Um, So, well, I look forward to seeing how, how your program develops. And, I'm excited to get the book. But of course I do want it signed. Um,
Yeah. Oh
even
yeah.
if you just, say something offensive to me, that actually might make it even better.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'm really terrified. I want you to get the book and read it and then go, "Oh man, you need to hurry up and make these changes because you misspelled there, left a sentence out or whatever." So
Sure.
V1, I already know it's
Yeah.
version one, but I figured done's better than not. Let's just
No, no, no. That's not the saying.
done is
Say it
better than
right.
perfect.
There we go. Yes.
Yes. It didn't need to be perfect. It needed to be done. And I can't polish it until I have it in hand.
Right. Right.
And so anyway, so that's what it is. So if anybody's listening to this, then you can jump quick because you can get a V1. There's only 8 so far. I had 6 paperbacks printed and 2 hard covers. You get
Okay.
one of the hard covers.
Ooh. Thank you.
And then I didn't want to print too many, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's kind of cool, you know, have your book, have a book written and done. So at least there's that. So
And
at
be able
least
to
I'll
hand
have
it out to
physical.
someone that might need it.
Yeah, I've already had a couple of clients ask when I've said, "Oh, I have it all done and I've actually written it in a book," and they're like, "I'll take one." And I'm like, "I'll you know what? I'll have a couple office loaners, and then if you decide you want to buy it after you've read it or you want to give it to somebody else, that's fine."
That's another cool
Um,
way to do it. Yeah.
so anyway,
Well,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
yeah.
I'll let you know how it works out.
Yeah. Well,
Uh, that's all I have.
and
That's
we
all
are
I got.
getting closer and closer to finishing the book. We are about halfway through
Mhm.
our book, our co-written book. We're about
Yep.
halfway through the I don't know, review process, finalizing the content. So but we spent about 6 weeks not working on it at all. So I
Right.
would say we're gonna have, I think, a good final, I don't want to say
Final
final
push.
draft, but something
Mhm.
that we could print, that we could launch with in like a month if
Yeah.
everything goes well. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I think we'll have a good solid version 1.
yeah, yeah. And again, I mean, I look, like I was telling you, I read a lot of books, and I'll read the same author, like 5 of their books, and you're hearing some of the same concepts, and you can see like here was like the initial part of that concept, and then it got built out more in this book, and where it's not repeating all the same information, it's all kind of interrelated. And I
Right.
think there's going to be some of that. So you just
Yes.
can't wait until it's completely fleshed out. I mean,
Mhm.
especially, we don't have to, like, we can make changes. We can continue to develop this. And if we wait until it's perfect, it will never be done.
Right.
So done is better than perfect. And
Yep.
I am thinking more and more about getting that, like a sign, a neon sign or something, for behind me that says done is better than perfect. But it is time to wrap up. So
Yes.
until next week, mind your business. Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Jarrels and me, CJ Jolliff. If you want to find out more about us or when we're going live or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.